The Diplomat's arrival. The sun rose over the vast landscape of Earth, casting golden rays across the fields and cities. In the distance, a strange ship descended from the sky, glimmering with an otherworldly light. It was the arrival of the Diplomat from the planet Norel. The people below watched in awe and curiosity as the spacecraft touched down softly on a grassy meadow. Inside the ship, a tall figure moved with grace. The Diplomat, named Solara, had green skin that shimmered like emeralds and eyes that sparkled like stars. She was a member of the Wyther species, known for their diplomatic skills and their peaceful approach to conflict. Today, she was on a mission to learn more about the humans who had recently captured the attention of many galaxies. As Solara stepped out of her ship, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Humans were a species shrouded in myths and stories. Some said they were fierce warriors, while others claimed they were harmless beings who had barely advanced beyond their own planet. Solara's mission was to uncover the truth. A group of humans awaited her arrival. They were dressed in simple clothes, but their eyes were filled with hope and curiosity. A tall man, wearing a formal suit, stepped forward to greet her. "Welcome to Earth, Ambassador Solara. We are honored to have you here." "Thank you," Solara replied, her voice melodic. "I am eager to learn about your people." The humans led Solara to a nearby city. As they walked, she observed their technology. Tall buildings reached for the sky, cars zoomed past, and screens flashed images of people smiling and laughing. The sights amazed her. Humans had created a vibrant world, but Solara wondered why they felt the need to build such impressive structures. "Why do your cities rise so high?" she asked, genuinely curious. One of the humans, a woman named Maria, smiled and explained, "We build tall because we are proud of what we can achieve. Each building represents our dreams and aspirations." Solara nodded, understanding the importance of ambition. She felt a deep respect for the humans and their desire to create. As they entered the city, Solara noticed something strange. There were large advertisements showcasing weapons and military equipment. She tilted her head, her green eyes widening in confusion. "Why do you promote such things?" The group exchanged nervous glances. Maria sighed and said, "It's complicated. Our history is filled with conflicts. We have had to protect ourselves from threats, both within and beyond our world." This revelation intrigued Solara. The Wyther had always avoided violence and believed in peaceful solutions. The idea that humans relied on weapons for protection was foreign to her. Yet, she understood that every species had its own struggles. Later, they arrived at a large hall where various leaders had gathered to meet the Diplomat. The room was filled with important people discussing humanity's place in the universe. As Solara took her seat, she felt the weight of their gazes. Each person was eager to hear what she had to say. "Thank you all for welcoming me," Solara began, her voice calm and confident. "I come in peace, seeking to understand your culture and the reasons behind your strength." A leader named President Grant stood up. "Many believe that humans are heavily armed because we are a threat to other species. We want to change that perception, but we need to know what you think of us." Solara took a deep breath, gathering her thoughts. "I have heard stories about your kind. Some say you are fierce and merciless. Others claim you are merely misunderstood. I wish to learn the truth, not just from tales, but from your own experiences." The room fell silent as the leaders exchanged glances. Finally, an older woman named Dr. Ling spoke. "To understand us, you must know our history. We have faced many threats, both from our own kind and from others in the universe. Our strength comes from survival." Solara felt a flicker of empathy for the humans. She understood what it meant to protect one's home. "I want to hear your stories. I want to understand your struggles, your victories, and what it truly means to be human." The leaders smiled, and the atmosphere lightened. For the first time, they felt that someone was genuinely interested in their experiences. As the meeting continued, Solara listened intently to the stories of humans facing challenges. They spoke of wars fought for freedom, of times when they had to band together to overcome great odds. Each story painted a picture of a species that was not just strong, but also resilient and determined. Hours passed, and the sun began to set, casting a warm glow through the windows. Silara felt a growing sense of connection with the humans. They were not just tales of warriors. They were people with dreams, hopes, and fears. She could see the heart of humanity beneath their armor. By the end of the day, Silara had gained a new perspective on the human race. They were complex beings who had endured hardships and celebrated victories. As she left the hall, she looked back at the humans, feeling a sense of camaraderie. This was just the beginning of her journey. The diplomat had come to learn about humans, but she was also beginning to understand that true strength lay not just in weapons, but in the spirit of those who wielded them. And in that moment, Silara realized that her mission was about to uncover far more than just the truth behind human power. It would explore the very essence of what it meant to be alive. The stories of humanity. As the sun set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Silara felt a sense of anticipation. Her first day on Earth had opened her eyes to the rich tapestry of human experience. She could sense that there was much more to learn, and she was eager to dive deeper into their stories. The next day, Silara returned to the hall where she had met the leaders. This time, they had organized a special gathering. People from different walks of life had come to share their experiences with her. Each person had a story, and Silara was ready to listen. The first storyteller was a young man named David. He stood up nervously, his hands fidgeting as he spoke. "I grew up in a city that was once vibrant but became a battlefield. My family lost everything during a war that seemed never-ending. But we didn't lose hope. We rebuilt our lives, piece by piece." David's story resonated with Silara. She understood the importance of resilience. "What kept you going?" she asked, her voice gentle. "Community," he replied, looking around the room. "We came together to help each other. It wasn't easy, but we learned to support one another. That's what made us strong." Next, an older woman named Mrs. Patel shared her tale. "I lived through a time when our people faced discrimination. We fought for our rights peacefully, holding protests and marches. It took years, but we succeeded in bringing change. I always believed in the power of words and actions." Silara listened intently. "So your strength came from unity and peaceful protest?" "Yes," Mrs. Patel said, her eyes sparkling with pride. "We showed the world that we could stand together without violence. Our voices mattered." The stories flowed throughout the day. Silara heard from a firefighter who saved lives during a disaster, a scientist who invented new technologies to help the sick, and a teacher who inspired children to dream big. Each person highlighted the strength that came from compassion, courage, and collaboration. As the gathering continued, Silara noticed something remarkable. Though these stories were different, they all shared a common thread: the human spirit. Each tale was filled with hope, determination, and a desire to make the world a better place. It amazed her how humans faced adversity with unwavering resolve. "Why do you think your kind is often seen as violent?" Silara asked the group during a break. A woman named Lisa answered thoughtfully, "It's our history. We've had wars, and our survival often meant taking up arms. But we are not just defined by our battles. We have built civilizations, explored new frontiers, and created art. There's so much more to us." Silara nodded, understanding the weight of their past. "But how do you change that perception?" David spoke up, "By telling our stories, by showing who we are beyond the conflicts. We want others to see that we are capable of so much more." As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting shadows in the hall, Silara felt a surge of admiration for the humans. Their strength lay not in their weapons but in their hearts and minds. They had created a society that valued compassion and unity, even in the face of hardship. Silara shared her own experiences as a wife or diplomat. "In my world, we value peace above all. We believe in finding solutions through dialogue. not conflict. But I see now that your journey is not so different from ours. You seek understanding and connection." The humans nodded, intrigued by her words. They felt a sense of kinship with the Ithar, recognizing that they both wanted to foster harmony in the universe. As the gathering concluded, Celera thanked everyone for sharing their stories. She realized that her mission was evolving. She was not just here to uncover the truth about humanity's power, but to bridge the gap between their worlds. "I have learned so much today," Celera said, her voice filled with sincerity. "Your stories have opened my eyes to the richness of your culture. I hope to share what I have learned with others, so they can see the true heart of humanity." The humans smiled, feeling a sense of accomplishment. They had given her a glimpse into their lives, and in return, they felt understood. As Celera left the hall, she felt a newfound purpose. She would share these stories with the Ithar and others in the galaxy, showing them that humanity was more than just a powerful species. They were a people of hope, unity, and strength, a force for good in the universe. That night, Celera gazed up at the stars from her ship, reflecting on the day. She realized that the essence of humanity was not just in their ability to fight, but in their capacity to love, learn, and grow together. She felt a deep respect for the humans and looked forward to continuing her journey of discovery. Tomorrow, she would learn more about their culture, traditions, and dreams. The universe was vast, and she was excited to explore the depths of what made humans truly unique. Lessons of humanity. The following day, Celera awoke with a sense of eagerness. She had learned about the strength and resilience of humans through their stories, but she was curious about their daily lives, traditions, and the values that guided them. After a quick breakfast aboard her ship, she made her way back to the gathering hall, ready to delve deeper into humanity's rich tapestry. As she entered, she noticed a few familiar faces among the crowd. David, Mrs. Patel, and Lisa were already there, chatting animatedly. Celera approached them with a warm smile. "Good morning. I'm excited to learn more about your daily lives," she said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. David gestured for her to join them. "We have a few activities planned today. We thought it might be interesting to show you some of our traditions and how we celebrate life." "Absolutely. I would love to see that," Celera replied, her heart racing with anticipation. They led her outside to a lush green park where families and friends were gathered. Colorful decorations adorned the trees, and the air was filled with laughter and music. It was a festival day, a time when communities came together to celebrate their culture. "Today is the Festival of Unity," Lisa explained. "It's a day when we celebrate our diversity and the connections we share. Each culture brings something special to the table." As they walked through the park, Celera observed the vibrant displays of food, art, and performances. Different groups showcased their unique traditions. One area featured a dance performance, where people twirled in colorful costumes, their movements fluid and joyful. Another section had children painting murals, expressing their dreams and hopes through art. Celera felt a warm glow inside. "This is beautiful. Your traditions are filled with life and joy." Mrs. Patel nodded, pride shining in her eyes. "We believe in celebrating our differences while finding common ground. It's what makes us stronger as a community." Celera watched as families gathered around a stage for speeches and performances. One by one, speakers shared stories of hope, love, and perseverance. As the sun shone brightly, it illuminated the smiles of everyone present. "Do you have festivals like this in your world?" Celera asked, genuinely curious. David shook his head. "Not in the same way. We have ceremonies and rituals, but nothing quite like this. It's amazing to see how you all come together." Celera pondered this for a moment. "In our culture, we focus on diplomacy and understanding. We rarely gather in large numbers for celebration. Perhaps there's something we could learn from you." As the festivities continued, Celera participated in various activities. She tried her hand at traditional games, engaged in storytelling sessions, and even tasted a variety of delicious foods from different cultures. Each bite was an explosion of flavors, and she found herself delighted by the diverse culinary offerings. Later in the afternoon, Celera joined a group of children who were learning to dance. They giggled and pulled her into their circle, encouraging her to join in. At first, she felt awkward, but as the music played, she let go of her inhibitions and danced with them, laughter spilling from her lips. "See, you're a natural," one of the children exclaimed, clapping her hands in delight. Celera couldn't remember the last time she had felt so free. This celebration reminded her that life was not just about duty and responsibility, but also about joy and connection. She understood now that these moments of happiness were essential to the human spirit. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, Celera gathered with the group for a closing ceremony. People shared their hopes for the future, and Celera noticed a consistent theme: unity. Everyone expressed a desire to work together for a better world, regardless of their backgrounds. "Together, we can overcome anything," Mrs. Patel said passionately. "We must remember that our strength lies in our connections." Celera felt her heart swell with pride for these humans. Their commitment to each other and their willingness to embrace differences was something truly remarkable. After the festival, as the stars began to twinkle above, Celera reflected on her day. She had not only witnessed the strength of humanity, but had also experienced it firsthand. Their ability to find joy, share love, and build community was awe-inspiring. That night, as she sat in her ship, she felt a sense of purpose. She wanted to take these lessons back to her people. The humans had shown her the importance of unity, joy, and celebrating life. Celera smiled, thinking of the stories she would share with the HFY. She would tell them about the Festival of Unity and how it had opened her eyes to the beauty of humanity. She realized that it was not enough to understand humans on a surface level. She needed to truly embrace their values and experiences. Tomorrow, Celera planned to delve even deeper into human culture. She was eager to learn more about their history, their dreams, and the challenges they faced. Each day brought new revelations, and she was ready to uncover more of what made humanity so extraordinary. Understanding humanity. The next day, Celera awoke with a sense of excitement. She was eager to learn more about the complexities of humanity, particularly their history and the challenges they faced. After breakfast, she met David and Mrs. Patel at the community center. They had arranged for a series of discussions that would delve into the human experience. As she entered the center, she was greeted by a large banner that read, "Understanding Our Journey." The walls were adorned with images and artifacts showcasing significant moments in human history. David noticed her gaze and smiled. "Today, we're going to share stories about our past, both the good and the bad," he said. "It's essential to understand where we come from to know where we're going." Celera nodded, feeling a surge of curiosity. She wanted to grasp the lessons that humanity had learned over time, especially in overcoming adversity. They gathered in a spacious room filled with chairs arranged in a circle. It felt inviting and safe. Mrs. Petal began the session by sharing a poignant story from her childhood. "I grew up during a time when my country faced great challenges. There was division, conflict, and fear. But through it all, we found strength in each other. We learned to listen and support one another, and that made all the difference." Celera listened intently, her heart aching for the struggles Mrs. Patel had faced. "How did you find the strength to carry on?" she asked. "It wasn't easy," Mrs. Patel replied, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "But we understood that hope was a powerful force. We focused on what we could build together instead of what divided us." One by one, the group shared their stories. David talked about how humanity had faced various wars and conflicts throughout history, but each time, they emerged more resilient. Lisa added her perspective, speaking about the civil rights movements that sought equality for all, emphasizing the importance of standing up against injustice. As the discussions continued, Celera began to understand the depth of human emotion and resilience. She realized that their history was not just a series of events, but a rich tapestry woven with struggles, triumphs, and the quest for understanding. After the discussions, Celera felt compelled to share her own experiences. In my culture, we strive for peace and harmony. However, we often forget that conflict can lead to growth and understanding. Your stories of resilience resonate deeply with me. The group welcomed her thoughts, and a lively conversation ensued. They discussed the value of learning from mistakes and how it shaped their present and future. As the day progressed, they transitioned to a workshop where they explored art as a means of expression. Celera found herself in a small room filled with canvases, paints, and brushes. The instructor encouraged everyone to express their thoughts and feelings through art, regardless of their skill level. Celera hesitated at first, feeling intimidated by the idea of painting. But as she looked around, she saw others with smiles on their faces, creating with abandon. Inspired, she picked up a brush and began to paint. She poured her heart into the canvas, using vibrant colors to express her emotions. The strokes were wild and free, reflecting her journey of understanding humanity. With each movement, she felt a sense of release. Hours passed, and Celera stepped back to admire her work. It was a swirling mix of colors representing hope, resilience, and the beauty of connection. Others in the room came to view her painting, and David stepped forward. "This is incredible, Celera. It captures so much," he said, genuinely impressed. Celera smiled, her confidence growing. "Thank you. I wanted to express the journey we are on together. There's so much we can learn from each other." As the workshop concluded, they gathered to share their creations. Each piece was unique, telling a story of individual experiences and collective journeys. Celera felt a sense of belonging, a connection that transcended their differences. Later that evening, as they sat around a fire, they continued their discussions. The warmth of the flames mirrored the warmth in Celera's heart. She realized that this gathering of cultures had changed her perspective on humanity. It wasn't just about strength, it was also about vulnerability and the willingness to grow. "Tomorrow, I'd like to learn about your dreams and aspirations," Celera said, her voice filled with excitement. "What do you hope for in the future?" The group nodded, intrigued by the idea. They began sharing their hopes, painting a picture of a future filled with peace, innovation, and collaboration. Each person expressed a desire to build a world where differences were celebrated, not feared. Celera listened, captivated by the dreams unfolding before her. She knew that these aspirations were not just individual desires, but a collective vision for a brighter future. She felt honored to be part of this conversation, one that would shape her understanding of humanity even further. As the fire flickered and the stars shone above, Celera felt a sense of hope swell within her. She was on a journey of discovery, one that was revealing the beauty of human connection and the power of shared dreams. Tomorrow would bring new revelations, and she eagerly awaited the chance to explore more about what made humanity truly extraordinary. The Dreamers' Gathering. The next day dawned bright and hopeful, and Celera felt a renewed sense of purpose. She had discovered so much about humanity's past and their resilience in the face of adversity. Now, it was time to explore their dreams for the future. David and the others were excited about the discussion planned for the day. As they gathered in the community center, Celera noticed a vibrant energy in the room. People were buzzing with anticipation, ready to share their aspirations and ideas. The walls were decorated with colorful drawings and posters showcasing various dreams, from peaceful communities to technological innovations. David stood up to introduce the topic. "Today, we will share our dreams and hopes for the future. Let's explore how we can work together to turn those dreams into reality. Each of us has a role to play in shaping our world." The participants took turns sharing their dreams. A young boy named Sam spoke first, his eyes wide with enthusiasm. "I want to create a world where everyone has enough food to eat. No one should be hungry," he declared passionately. The group nodded in agreement. That's a beautiful dream, Sam. How do you think we can achieve that? Celera encouraged him. We can share our resources, we can help each other, and find ways to grow food together, Sam replied, his voice filled with hope. Next, a woman named Elena shared her vision of a world where nature and technology coexist harmoniously. I dream of cities with green spaces, where trees and gardens are part of our daily lives. We should respect our planet and work with it, not against it, she said earnestly. Celera found herself inspired by each person's vision. As the discussions continued, she realized that every dream, no matter how big or small, had the potential to create change. When it was Celera's turn to speak, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. In my culture, we believe that dreams should be shared and nurtured. I dream of a galaxy where different cultures collaborate for peace. We have so much to learn from each other. The group listened intently, and David smiled, nodding in agreement. That's an important dream, Celera. Collaboration is key to achieving our goals. As the day progressed, they engaged in brainstorming sessions, exploring practical ways to make their dreams a reality. Celera watched as ideas flowed, building upon one another. They discussed community gardens, sustainable technologies, and education programs to empower future generations. One idea that emerged was a community festival celebrating diversity and creativity. We can invite everyone to share their cultures, art, and traditions, Lisa suggested. It'll be a way to foster understanding and appreciation among us. The group loved the idea, and Celera felt her heart swell with joy. They began planning the festival, organizing activities, and setting goals for what they wanted to achieve. As they worked together, Celera realized that this collaborative spirit was a beautiful representation of humanity's potential. They were not just dreamers. They were doers, ready to take action to create a better future. Later that afternoon, they decided to take a break and enjoy some refreshments. Celera noticed a small garden outside the community center, vibrant with blooming flowers. It seemed like the perfect place to continue their discussions. They moved outside, sitting on benches surrounded by nature. As they enjoyed their snacks, they shared stories about their own cultures and traditions. Celera learned about different festivals and celebrations, each one unique and filled with meaning. Back home, we celebrate the Festival of Lights, symbolizing hope and renewal. Celera shared, it's a time for families to come together, share food, and reflect on their dreams for the coming year. David and the others were captivated by her stories. They shared their own traditions, from harvest festivals to cultural parades. The exchange felt like a beautiful tapestry of shared experiences, weaving together their lives in a meaningful way. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, they gathered for one last discussion. David suggested, let's share how we can support one another in turning these dreams into reality. Each person shared their commitment to action. Sam promised to start a food drive, while Elena offered to organize workshops on sustainable practices. Celera vowed to encourage collaboration between cultures, emphasizing the importance of unity. With each promise, Celera felt a deep sense of belonging. This group was not just a collection of individuals. They were a community united by a common goal, to create a better future for all. As they wrapped up the day, Celera reflected on the journey she had taken since arriving. She had come to learn about humanity, but she had discovered so much more. She found herself inspired by their dreams and the courage they showed in pursuing them. With renewed determination, Celera looked forward to the festival they were planning. It would be a celebration of their shared dreams and a testament to the power of collaboration. She felt grateful to be part of this extraordinary journey. As night fell, the stars sparkled above, and Celera realized that, together, they could light up the universe with hope, resilience, and creativity. The Festival of Dreams. The day of the festival arrived, and excitement filled the air. The community center buzzed with energy as people gathered to set up for the event. Colorful banners adorned the entrance, and the scent of delicious food wafted through the air. Silara marveled at how everyone had come together, each contributing their unique skills and ideas to make this festival a success. As she walked through the bustling venue, Silara was impressed by the vibrant decorations. Each booth showcased different cultures, featuring traditional clothing, artwork, and crafts. The atmosphere was alive with laughter and chatter as people shared stories and exchanged smiles. David and the organizing team had done an excellent job. A stage had been set up for performances, and there were activities for children, including face painting and games. Silara could see families enjoying themselves, creating new memories together. The festival kicked off with an opening ceremony, led by David. He stood on the stage, beaming with pride as he addressed the crowd. "Welcome, everyone. Today, we come together to celebrate our dreams and the beauty of our diverse cultures. Let's inspire one another and ignite the flames of hope for our future." The crowd erupted in applause, and Silara felt a rush of joy. She watched as families gathered around booths, eager to explore different cultures. The first performance began, featuring a traditional dance that captivated the audience. Silara felt her heart swell with pride, witnessing the beauty of humanity's traditions on display. As the day went on, the festival transformed into a melting pot of ideas and creativity. Silara moved from booth to booth, sampling delicious foods from various cultures, each bite telling a story of tradition and love. She chatted with children eager to share their drawings and art projects, all inspired by their dreams for the future. One booth stood out to Silara. It was dedicated to environmental awareness. A group of young people shared information about sustainable living, offering tips on reducing waste and protecting the planet. Silara was impressed by their passion and dedication to a cause that resonated with her. "Together, we can make a difference," one young woman said, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Every small action counts." Silara nodded in agreement, her heart filled with hope. It was moments like these that reminded her of humanity's potential to create a better world. As the sun dipped low in the sky, the stage was set for the evening performances. Musicians began to play, filling the air with melodies that echoed the spirit of unity. People danced, their laughter mingling with the music, creating a symphony of joy. Silara took a moment to step back and observe the crowd. She felt a deep sense of belonging among these people, each one contributing to a brighter future. They were not just celebrating their cultures, they were building bridges between different worlds. When it was time for the final performance, Silara felt a surge of excitement. David had invited her to share a story from her home planet, and she was eager to connect with everyone on a deeper level. She stepped onto the stage, her heart pounding with anticipation. "Thank you for allowing me to share a piece of my culture with you," Silara began, her voice steady. "I come from a place where we believe in the power of dreams and the strength of community." She told a story about the Festival of Stars, a celebration in her homeland where everyone came together to light lanterns and send their dreams into the sky. "In that moment, we connect with each other, and our dreams become one. It is a reminder that we are never alone in our journey," she said, her eyes shining with passion. The crowd listened intently, their faces illuminated by the warm glow of lanterns. When Silara finished, there was a moment of silence before applause erupted. She felt an overwhelming sense of love and connection wash over her, knowing that her words had touched the hearts of those present. As the festival came to a close, the community gathered for a final act of unity. They lit lanterns together, each person holding one, ready to release their dreams into the night sky. Silara felt a profound sense of belonging as she joined hands with those around her. When the lanterns were released, they floated into the sky like stars, illuminating the darkness. Each light represented a dream, a hope, a promise for the future. Silara looked up, tears of joy filling her eyes, knowing they had created something beautiful together. As the last lantern disappeared into the night, the crowd erupted into cheers. Silara felt a deep sense of gratitude for the friendship she had formed and the lessons she had learned. This festival had not only celebrated their differences, but had also united them as one community, sharing dreams and aspirations. In that moment, Celera realized that humanity was not just about survival. It was about hope, love, and the courage to dream together. She understood that they were all dreamers, and their collective dreams could light up the universe. As the festival ended and people began to head home, Celera felt a renewed sense of purpose. She had witnessed the beauty of humanity in its purest form, and she was excited to continue this journey with her new friends. Together, they could create a future filled with promise and possibility. A new dawn. The sun rose over the horizon, casting a golden glow on the community. The festival had ended, but its warmth lingered in the hearts of everyone who had participated. Celera woke up feeling inspired, her mind buzzing with ideas for what they could accomplish together. The memories of the festival played like a beautiful melody in her heart, fueling her determination to continue building connections. After a quick breakfast, she headed to the community center. She was excited to see how the festival had ignited a new energy in the people. As she entered, she found David and several others already gathered around a table, discussing plans for their next big project. "Celera," David exclaimed as he spotted her. "We were just talking about how we can keep this momentum going. We want to start a new initiative to continue promoting cultural exchange and community building." Celera's eyes lit up. "I'd love to help. We can organize workshops where people share their skills and knowledge, like cooking classes, art sessions, and storytelling events." David nodded, clearly pleased with her enthusiasm. "That's a fantastic idea. We can also include discussions on important topics like environmental sustainability and social issues. We want to make this a space where everyone feels empowered to contribute." As they brainstormed ideas, Celera felt a deep sense of belonging. She was no longer an outsider looking in. She was part of something bigger. The others shared their ideas, each one building on the last, creating a tapestry of possibilities that felt limitless. The days turned into weeks, and soon their initiative, called Bridges of Unity, took shape. They held meetings every week, drawing in people from all walks of life. Celera watched as more and more individuals stepped forward, eager to share their talents and stories. The first workshop focused on cooking. Different community members volunteered to teach others how to prepare dishes from their cultures. Celera took the lead on a session about her home planet's unique cuisine, using fresh ingredients to create flavors that were both unfamiliar and delightful to her new friends. As they chopped, stirred, and laughed together, Celera noticed how food brought them closer. They shared stories about their favorite meals, the memories attached to them, and the traditions surrounding their culinary practices. In that moment, they weren't just individuals from different backgrounds. They were friends creating new memories together. The next workshop centered around storytelling. Celera encouraged everyone to share personal tales from their lives, fostering a deeper understanding of one another. The stories ranged from hilarious mishaps to profound life lessons, each one drawing the group closer together. During one session, an elderly man named Marcus shared his experiences growing up during a war. He spoke about the power of hope and resilience in the darkest times. "It is essential to remember our history," he said. "Through our stories, we keep the past alive and ensure that future generations learn from our experiences." Celera felt moved by Marcus's words. It reinforced the idea that every person's story mattered. They were not just sharing experiences. They were weaving a fabric of understanding that would strengthen their community. As the weeks went by, the enthusiasm for Bridges of Unity grew. More individuals joined in, eager to be part of something meaningful. They organized outdoor events, performances, and cultural showcases, inviting everyone to participate. One evening, they planned a night of cultures, where people could set up booths displaying their heritage. The air was filled with laughter, music, and the tantalizing aromas of various cuisines. Celera felt a wave of happiness wash over her as she observed families exploring different booths, sharing stories, and building connections. At the end of the night, David took the stage, his face glowing with pride. "Tonight is a testament to what we can achieve together. This community has come alive with creativity and collaboration. Let's keep building these bridges and fostering understanding." Solara joined in the applause, her heart swelling with joy. She had never felt more connected to a community. The people around her were not just friends. They were her family. Together, they were forging a new path, one filled with hope and unity. As the months rolled on, the initiatives continued to flourish, bringing even more diverse voices to the forefront. Solara felt a renewed sense of purpose in her life. She had found her calling in building bridges between cultures and fostering understanding. One day, as she was cleaning up after a particularly successful event, Solara reflected on her journey. She remembered her initial feelings of isolation and confusion upon arriving on Earth. Now she felt at home. Her phone buzzed with a message from David, inviting her to a planning session for their next big project. A cultural exchange program that would involve community members visiting one another's homes to learn directly about each other's lives. Solara couldn't contain her excitement. This was exactly the kind of initiative that could deepen their bonds even further. She immediately replied, expressing her eagerness to help. As she prepared for the meeting, Solara looked out the window, where the sun was setting, painting the sky in vibrant hues of orange and pink. She felt a sense of gratitude for this beautiful world and the incredible people in it. Together, they had built something extraordinary. Solara understood that they were not just creating a community, they were crafting a future. A future where dreams and hopes intertwined, and differences became strengths. They were unstoppable, and together, they would continue to light the way for others. In her heart, she knew this was just the beginning. A new dawn was rising, and with it came the promise of endless possibilities. As Solara stepped out into the warm evening air, she felt ready to embrace whatever came next, confident in the strength of the bonds they had forged.